lot of shit went wrong in that bill because we were misled. And you say, well, no, we were misled because a lot of people go off what Donald Trump says. We're not going to go read the shit. We're going to go off what he says.
This is what I fucking get. Nothing but white boys. It takes 4 days to do a one-day job.
Again, the chickens are coming home to roost. You have MAGA Trumpers coming out of the woodworks saying that they are starting to regret or starting to question their support for Donald Trump because everything he campaigned on and promised on the campaign trail is not coming to fruition the way he said that it was going to. And now they are just starting to realize that this guy was actually a con man who played them just to get back into the office so that he can be behind the gilded seal of the presidency of the United States of America. I was on TikTok and I'm seeing a lot of these videos pop up again, especially with the passage of the one big beautiful bill that has completely screwed over working class people and will completely destroy rural America. Like I said in my other video, I live in Lincoln, Nebraska. There's a hospital in Western Nebraska that just shut down because they said they will not be able to stay open because of the passage of this bill. So there's a couple of videos that I want to show you guys from these guys who look like they're about my age, realizing that, oh, I'm in some shit right now and maybe I fucked up and now I have to find out.
I was a Trump supporter. I don't know how long I can keep doing this. I have a construction company and not a fucking thing is getting done. This is what I get. This is what I fucking get. Nothing but white boys. It takes 4 days to do a one-day job. I might have fucked up.
See, this is a problem with this kind of stuff. People, we tried to tell you. Everyone tried to tell you that this is what was going to happen. Right now, in Omaha, Nebraska, there was a raid a few weeks ago. Actually, when I was in Colorado, a few weeks ago, and there was this massive raid that took place at these meatpacking plants or these production working facilities where a lot of undocumented migrants work. ICE came through, ran through there. And now what? They don't have the workers. You have construction sites that are empty all across the country because who picks up those jobs? I'm telling you, like he said, it's not white boys. It's usually Hispanics that work these jobs. They work these labor intensive jobs. Let me tell you something. Yesterday, I was helping my cousin do this job up in Omaha, Nebraska, where we had to like level out gravel of this for a foundation that's being poured in a basement or a concrete being poured in a basement floor. And we had to like level out these rocks to prepare it for it. We were there for an hour and a half and I said, I can't do this. This is extremely back-breaking work. You have to manually shovel and level out all of these rocks. And when we were done, the guy gave us $50 each. I'm like, this is not worth it. This is not worth it. I have always had the appreciation for people who do those jobs because I know that I couldn't do it. I have always appreciated people who could do those jobs. And now we're seeing in a case scenario where these jobs that are not desirable amongst white Americans. I mean, I'm African, but like African American, we see these jobs that are taken up by immigrants. A lot of Sudanese people work in meatpacking plants. You know what I mean? A lot of Hispanics work in construction, home building labor. They do all these jobs that normal white Americans would not do. And I think that we really need to have a good hard look about appreciating these kinds of things. Like he's saying, this is what I get. This is what I get for voting Trump. What the fuck did you think mass deportations meant? What did you think was going to happen? Did you think people were still going to show up to the job site knowing that said job sites are getting raided by ICE? That is what's happening. And it blows my mind that these people thought this was all a joke. I'm sure you guys know somebody who was probably like, when you tried to explain to them what Trump was going to do, oh, he wouldn't do that. Oh, he wouldn't do that. You don't know this man. This is a billionaire from Manhattan. You don't have nothing in common with him. You don't fly on private jets. You don't wear Louis Vuitton. You don't vacation in the south of France. You don't go to Champs-Elysees and buy designer wear. You don't live in a tower in Manhattan. What did you think this man was going to do? What did you think you had? Well, like, what did you think you had in common with a billionaire from Manhattan? Oh, he's for the people. No, he's not. No, he's not. Let me play this other video for y'all.
You know why we voted for Donald Trump? Because the middle class man finally thought he was going to get ahead in life. You said no taxes on overtime. Big, bold, beautiful letters. We thought, hell yeah, why would we not vote for that? Then you turn around and pass the bill and it's a crock of shit. It's a tax credit for the people that make a certain amount of money. Of course, when you put it in big, bold, beautiful letters, it looks great. We're going to vote for you. And you knew what you were doing. You were baiting people in saying, no taxes on overtime. You didn't give no fucking details. Your details that we read ain't worth a flying fuck. That bill, and I think Donald Trump's going to be great for the economy. It's only been 7 months. Give the man a chance. I get it. But the first fucking bill wasn't worth a shit. A lot of shit went wrong in that bill. Because we were misled. And you say, well, no, we were misled because a lot of people go off what Donald Trump says. We're not going to go read the shit. We're going to go off what he says. He needs to be more transparent with us whenever he talks about major life-changing topics like no taxes on overtime, no taxes on tips, no taxes on Social Security for the elderly people. Instead, there were stipulations on all of it. The transparency was a fucking zero. The bill is a fucking zero. Still got to hope. It's only been 7 months, but
still got
fuck.
Hope. Really. Again, this is the other thing with this kind of stuff. First off, you said that, oh, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. Let's unpack that really quick. Really quick. I have my notes here for you. Max deduction, $25,000. Who it helps? Cash tips owners like earners like servers, bartenders, hairstylists. That's who it helps. Overtime, $12,500 single or $25,000 if you're filing joint. This isn't a no tax scenario. All you are getting is a tax credit at the end of the year when you file your taxes. This is not going to give you more money in your paycheck every 2 weeks. It's not like, oh, I just worked another, $1,200 worth of overtime. I'm going to have $1,200 extra dollars this month. No, you're going to have $1,200 at the end of the year that they're going to look at and be like, okay, well, maybe you get a higher refund or you have to actually pay more taxes in, or maybe you break even. You're not actually going to walk away with more money in your pocket every 2 weeks or every month, however, whatever your pay frequency is, to make ends meet or close whatever gap or deficit you have in your household. That's what this is. And it's also temporary. This is only, 2-3 years. Once the 2028 presidential election comes around, this is going to expire. All the bad parts of this bill, Medicaid, health insurance, all of that stuff is when it's going to get cut. And that's when you are going to start feeling it. And they're going to turn around and blame the Democrats and say that it was the Democrats that actually did this. And this is the other part that happens when you have people who do not want to do the research themselves. We go off of what Donald Trump says. We're not going to go read the shit. We're going off what he says. What about this man made you think you could believe what he was saying? Why? Why did you think you could believe what he's saying? Like I just said a little bit ago, this is a billionaire from Manhattan. He lives in a tower. You live in a farm in rural Nebraska. You like that. That's the part that I don't get about all of this. And then the fact that you still are holding out hope that this man is going to come around and do something. The first thing that he did once he was able to get legislation through Congress, the first thing that he did was to give billionaires and corporations tax cuts. If you are not in the 1%, you're with the rest of us. You're not getting shit. That's what it is. Like you said, the bill is a fucking zero. It was a zero. And we told you it was going to be a zero, but you didn't want to listen. Everybody said we had TDR, Trump derangement syndrome, or TDS, whatever the fuck that is. I don't even know what it is. Trump derangement syndrome, because we told you that this man is a scam artist. He's a con artist. And this is what's actually going to happen. You thought that we were crazy for saying that. And we were just being woke liberals. All these career economists came out and said that this is what's actually going to happen. All of these political analysts came out and said, this is what's going to happen. This is not going to be good. We're going to be in a recession by the middle of next year. Pair that with the new tariffs that he just announced, right? Who does that help? Just a couple of months ago, you guys said, oh, I regret voting for Donald Trump. Nobody told me this is what tariffs were. I didn't realize this is what was going to happen. I thought that the foreign companies were the ones that paid the tariffs. I thought that's what it was. I didn't realize it was going to be a tax on me. Let me tell you something. So I have a Fabletics account that I since canceled. I was a part of like their VIP thing. So I had like all these extra VIP credits, you know, and you can like pick an item up to like $100 that you can use a VIP credit for. There was this cool duffel bag that I had seen advertised. It's kind of like a hamper or a garment bag that rolls up into a duffel bag. I'm like, hey, I think I need one of those, you know, for quick trips or whatever, to put like suit jackets and things like that in, things that I don't want to like roll up or fold. So when I go to checkout, the actual item is $0 because I had the VIP tax credit, but there was like a $3 or $4, $5 tariff tax on there as well. So I had to pay that tariff. The item was free for me. I had to pay for shipping, but I also had to pay the tariff price. And now we are going to another tariff war because he just announced 25 or whatever, 50% tariffs on Japan and South Korea, and then floating the idea of 200% tariffs on pharmaceuticals when we already know that this country has a problem with making drug prices affordable for people who need medication. Medication that costs 10 cents to make, they're turning around and selling it for $100 each. A pill that costs 5 cents to make, they're turning around and selling it for $800. Ain't that crazy? Look, at the end of the day gotta end, and when the day ends, the chickens come home to roost. And this is what it is. We all have to find out because people didn't want to do their research. People didn't want to do their research or listen to the experts when they were talking about what this man was going to do. Kamala Harris would have been a much better option. A much, much better option. Not even much better option. She would have been astronomically better than what we are currently stuck with now, because the first legislation they get through Congress was to help the top 1% at the expense of the entire country. That's where we are. That's where we are in this country. And this shit makes me emotional because it did not have to happen. Kamala Harris was talking about what, $25,000 down payment assistance for people who want to become first-time home buyers, $50,000 for people who want to start up a small business. And when they asked her, how are you gonna pay for this? She said, we're going to have to raise the corporate tax. We're going to have to raise tax on the top 1% in corporations to pay for this because the American people are so far behind. Everybody needs a jumpstart to catch up. But you guys didn't want that. You wanted this because you guys voted off vibes. And here we are stuck. We're 7 months in and you're sitting here talking about you want to still give Donald Trump a chance. Oh, fuck. I know we're 7 months in and give the man a chance, but still, I don't know how much longer I can hold on. I can't deal with this. I can't do this anymore. I feel like I'm just going off the rails at this point. Like, am I going crazy? You guys are feeling this with me, right? Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous that this is where we are. All of these people fucked around and now we all have to find out with them.